Morning, everyone. So good to be connecting with you again. It's just been a very crazy start of the week, but we're here ready to run. And I've got Tabitha here with me. And there's actually so much that we can report back on because we had a phenomenal couple session Saturday morning, and we had a great ladies support share group this morning as well. And it was just, the depth was just amazing. Morning, Tabitha. How are you doing?
Morning, everybody, and morning to you too, Kenneth. Great to see you again. What an amazing weekend we've had at Grace Online, as well as this morning with our beautiful ladies and the community where they get to share where they're at. Just once again, just so inspirational to know that these ladies know that they're not alone and that there is ladies out there who can love on them and just let them know that they're not alone. So thanks for that platform, Kenneth.
Awesome. What stood out for you most regarding the couple session that we had on Saturday morning?
So first of all, I love the fact that I get to do it with Andre. It's very special for me, and to be able to invest in our marriage, because this coming month we'll be married 18 years. So I'm super excited. Just to be able to learn other things, maybe things that, like, I think of the 7 questions Michelle and Kevin shared with us, there were 2 that Andre and I identified, one being like, are we still having fun in our marriage? And we're like, oh, we're always busy running from one responsibility to the next. And the second one is like, are you in a rut? And we both agreed that we are pretty much in a rut. It's like, as long as you can get through the day and everyone survived and there's no injuries and everyone gets to bed safe, then that's like a victory in my house, right? So, it just once again like sort of shines like a spotlight, where should I be putting my attention in? Because if you obviously don't work on it, it is going to fall apart. And it's just, there's so many amazing couples in there that are just inspiring one another to lift the level of their marriages. And that excites me because no one wants to be married just to be married. You want to be married because you want to create memories and you want to journey with this person and you want to feel like, yes, this person's my best friend, like they got my back. And having these monthly sessions just reinforces goal and dream that I have. That goal and to have a successful marriage and for my kids to grow up in a home where they can see that their mother and father love each other and that we've been a great example to them. So what Kevin and Michelle challenged us this Saturday was to hug our spouses 3 times a day for 20 seconds. So that's going to be an interesting challenge to see next month how many of us successfully have done that. That was my takeaway. And yours, Kenneth?
I think coming from Saturday morning, the biggest thing for me there was the idea to start battle stations for relationships, or a space of accountability where we can measure how people are actually fulfilling on the 20-second hug 3 times a day type of thing, and how we can gamify that whole thing. I think that's been a game changer for this organization, is the gamification aspect in the battle stations and the WOW share groups, and now relationship recovery groups will have the same sort of components where men and women, husbands and wives, can hold each other accountable to grow and become the best version of themselves and live up to the highest standard that they have set for themselves. Obviously depending on God's presence and his power and his motivation and divine inspiration, all of those things. But God's heart is for relationships. That's actually what he's absolutely in this thing. He wants us to be saved and be the best version of ourselves and to be the best versions of ourselves for our partners. So that was probably the biggest thing that stood out for me. But then it's not all fun and games, Sometimes these couple sessions aggravate the challenge that is the snake below the table, as a good friend of mine would say. It like aggravates the issue, So if there's pornography addiction in a relationship, these sessions tend to be a little bit more challenging, a little bit more difficult, and it raises the issue. Like you said, it turns the spotlight on those areas that are seriously lacking. And that's
and I think that's no, sorry. Then I think that's what one of the ladies was sharing this morning. Her husband isn't in a program, but he does attend the couple sessions with her, and she just felt so demotivated today, saying, oh my word, my marriage is a mess. Like when I listen to these things, I realize how many things we don't have it together. And it was just so beautiful for me this morning how the community of ladies came around her to remind her about her worth and the value that she brings to so many of their lives. And then just to remind her, that her husband might not be in a program yet, but she's planting those seeds, and him pitching up for me is massive. The fact that he's like saying, I'm going to do this with you. I might not feel like it. I might not want to hear all these things, but he keeps on showing up because this is the second month in a row that he's attended. And my prayer for her and for him is that that seed that she's planting will be reaped and that she'll benefit from it. And it's not always nice to go through the pain and the realization of my marriage is not where I want it to be. But the fact is she's walking away this morning recognizing that, there's still hope, that he might not be changing at the pace that she wants him to, but, the fact that he's still open to hear these things and to say, listen, how do I do this better? Because many times we don't know. And that's also what the ladies, and that's why I think what you said with the share groups that you're going to create for the couples, I think that's phenomenal, Kenneth, because lots of times as women, we walk away and we're like, okay, is he going to hug me first? Am I going to hug him first? And then I'm sure, I don't know if the men are thinking the same or not, but I'm just speaking from a woman's perspective. He's like, who's going to initiate this? Like, who's going to be accountable for this? So you sort of like, a little bit scared to act, you want to do it, but you don't know what the response is going to be, especially if your marriage is not in a great place. So by having these challenges in the couple groups, it will inspire each couple to be like, okay, they're doing it, I can do it. Like, I also want the points. I also want to, you know how the human nature is. We all have this little competitive edge in us. So I think to take it to the next level for these couples, I think that that's a phenomenal idea, just to bridge the activity between, what Kevin and Michelle are challenging us in our marriages and then sort of actually to put it into actual form and for people to start seeing the results of that. So I think that that's just phenomenal.
The interesting thing is that a 20-second hug twice a day or 3 times a day is not going to stop the porn addiction.
No, unfortunately not. No.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit not enough for that. But the idea is that at least hopefully we can get the relationship up and create something of worth and value that would be worth fighting for both parties,
Yes,
for the men
both
and the ladies in the program. So yeah. So that's awesome. Thanks, Tabitha. That was a good conversation. I really enjoyed this morning's meeting thoroughly. And I'm so excited about starting these couple relationship spaces as well. I've already had a few inquiries about that, and we're going to get that launched this week. And hopefully that will contribute to the space that we are trying to create through Grace Online. Thanks for checking in with me today, Tabitha. And thanks for all my viewers that's been listening to this. I hope you all have a fantastic day further.
Thanks, guys. See you soon again. Look after yourself. Bye, Kenneth.
Cheers.